In a day and age where information is spread in a nanosecond,
we are setting out to discover the uniqueness of our guests through the lost art of conversation,
140-degree temperatures, and robes.
This episode of Don't Sweat the Small Stuff is sponsored by JNH Lifestyles.
Take advantage of one of their home infrared saunas and experience the many benefits that thousands of people across the United States are praising.
Regular sessions in an infrared sauna will aid you in almost all areas of your life.
Start your joyful, natural, and healthy lifestyle today with JNH Lifestyles.
Fans of the fight world should recognize our season finale guest. Groovy Landon Vannata has made a name for himself in the middleweight division in the UFC.
Tied for the record of most bonuses in his first 4 fights, Landon lives his life to the fullest, inside and outside of the octagon.
Join us as Groovy Lando shares what it takes to make it in the UFC.
And where his love of all things extreme comes from.
I'm Dex.
And I'm Steve-O. And this is Don't Sweat the Small Stuff.
Is it?
This is our final episode of Season 1.
Wow, no
pressure. So last time,
I feel honored.
Yeah, no pressure. It's got to be good.
You gotta end on a low note. Season. It's been a terrible season so far. We've had C and B actors. Who else have we had? We've had a couple kind of big fighters. Let's see, Michelle Watterson. She's like,
dang, dude, why are you like?
Who else? Oh, Diego.
Yeah, wrecking it.
Yeah. Nobody really knows who that guy is.
Wow.
I know you got a C-class fighter, so sit down at the end.
No, man. East Coast, though. Let's talk.
Yeah, man. I was telling all the guys about you and just how crazy and extreme you are as far as like, you know, you're a guy who likes to live life on the edge, man.
I like to live life.
Yeah, seriously. From like hiking to jumping out of airplanes. I saw you in a squirrel suit. To man, what's next? You know, what's Lando gonna do next?
It's all balance. You know, it's all balance, man. I just happened to balance it on the very extreme ends of the seesaw. You know.
Yeah.
So I just came back from a week-long trip in LA doing skydiving. You know, get my A license in skydiving, knocked out 26 jumps in
26.
Yeah, 26 jumps in 5 days. Got my license. Got the jump with my best friends. So that was super cool. And then, you know, like that, like, wears you out. You just like all day, 5 jumps a day. It's just like adrenaline chill.
Oh my gosh.
By the end of it, I'm just like,
any close calls?
Nah.
Close calls?
Nah.
Dude, that second parachute,
well, you know
man.
what I did see? So skydiving's like really safe, man. It's actually, it's a really safe sport. What I did see though, walking in one day, or walking out of the drop zone at the end of the day, I'm coming out. I look back, and the last load had just gone up, and I just see, so there's a pilot chute, right? The pilot chute is what you throw out of the container, and that pulls out your main parachute.
Okay.
So I see a pilot chute coming down from the sky with the parachute still in the bag.
Oh my god.
Just floating down.
You're kidding me.
Just floating down. So it's called a bag log. So somebody threw the parachute, through the pilot chute, it came out, it pulled out the bag with the parachute in it. The parachute didn't come out of the bag.
Oh my god.
So they're still just in free fall. And now they're a little bit vertical too, so they're in free fall going super fast. And you gotta pull your cutaway, pull your reserve.
Oh my god.
And then the reserve comes out.
Why? Yeah. Why do you do that? I honestly, like, when I was little, I saw Point Break. I get it. I loved it. Are you the real Bodhisattva? Like, what?
No, I ain't jumping off no waterfall, man.
Not yet.
I put my hands my life in the hands of Mother Nature.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, okay, but all right. I saw you in the squirrel suit. So are you working towards
that? Yeah.
Okay, that's insane.
What makes you want to do that?
What makes you want to do this?
I want to get to know people. Yeah. Like, honestly, I think that's why we called the show Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, wrapping up season 1, and it's like, we just want to know people. I think a lot of times there's a disconnect within culture because of the internet. Mm-hmm. So it's like, you look somebody up and you think you know them, and it's like, what happened to the art of conversation? Like, let's kick it with people. Yeah. Let's turn the heat up, though, so our brains get fried. And
he's always had a tough time with the heat, you know. But
I do.
I used to too, man. I mean, I grew up wrestling, high school wrestling.
Okay.
Me and saunas have a terrible relationship.
Man.
Yeah, like so it's been interesting coming back into this world and getting used to it. But I know what you're saying with that disconnect, man.
Yeah.
You know, just the world in general right now.
Well, I was actually I was pretty impressed when we were preparing for the interview. I'm like, hey man, you know Lando, like tell me a little bit, you know, what can we talk about? And Dex was like, well, I mean, he's a cool dude, and he's really chill, and he likes to jump out of airplanes.
That's what's funny, because I've been with you a few times, you know, and it, you know, you're a pretty chill and mellow dude, but then I look at your Instagram page and I see you doing all this crazy stuff. I'm like, that doesn't seem like Lando at all when you hang out with him.
But if you watch my stories too, so like I did the week full of skydiving, right? And the next day I went on a hike with my dog and laid in a field.
Yeah.
Laid in a grass pasture for like 3 hours and just did nothing.
Just chilled.
Yeah, so it's like that balance. Like you can't be like balls in the wall 100% of the time. You know, it's like I'm also super chill.
Dude, I want to go back in time because, you know, hearing a little bit about your story from the East Coast, and then when you were like a teenager, you came to New Mexico, and what, you were like 16 and decided, hey, I kind of want to check out this fight thing, or how did that, take us back in time to like, you know, like the origins of you wanting to fight.
So basically, normal suburban kid.
Okay.
For the most part, I grew up racing BMX, so I was a 2-time national champion.
Okay.
By the time I was 6, and me and my brother raced BMX, and my 3 older half brothers raced BMX when they were younger. So I was 2-time national champ. I was the youngest ever expert at my time. So I was like, grew up competing, right? Like, like I loved it. We were over the country racing every weekend. Then just didn't do any sports for a little bit. I was like 11 years old, 10, 11. One of my aunts, her name's Aunt Sari, she came back from Vegas and she brought me this satchel, UFC on it. Had a UFC calendar with like, was it Carmen Electra? No, was it Carmen Electra? Is that her name?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Carmen Electra was like the main like chick of it. Carlos Newton, Matt Hughes are on there, right? And then it was UFC 30 and UFC 31, and I just had these you know, these videotapes. I come home from school and I just watch them every day.
Yeah.
And there was one fight in particular, man. It was Josh Barnett getting knocked out by Pedro Hizzo.
Yeah.
You ever see that one?
Yeah, dude, I remember those old school ones.
That was my favorite knockouts. He like rocked Josh Barnett. Josh Barnett like keeled over halfway. Yeah. Pedro Hizzo stepped off to the right side and fired a right hand right on his temple and put him down. It was,
Yeah, it's so like movie knockout.
To me,
scripted. It looked like
pretty.
Wow.
It was real pretty. So I mean, I saw that. Like, first time I saw that, I was like, yep.
That's it.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
You know, so from that point on, I was like, yeah, I want to be a UFC fighter. I want to be a UFC champ.
Getting into the UFC, I heard you basically got like a $500 offer, right? For a fight in the UFC. Was that what happened?
No, it was a fight before the UFC.
Okay, fight before the UFC.
Yeah, so I mean, it was just hard to get fights, but so I was like helping Cub Swanson down in Tampa for his fight week. And that's my homie. I
love Cub, man.
That guy like mentored me. I took me under his wing. Just a great dude. So I'm out there with him, and then Ricky hits me up. He's like, "Hey, you want to fight Ramiko Blackman? 13 days away. He's an Olympic alternate. I don't think he's ever been knocked out or anything. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm like, yeah, sure, let's do it. I'm like, what's the pay? He's like, 8 and 8. I'm like, okay, yeah. So they called him, and I guess he didn't want to do it for that much money. So we gave him half of my pay.
Wow.
Yeah, so I fought him for $400 and $400.
So what does that mean? 4 and 4?
So 400 to show up and fight, and 400 to win.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're I mean, you want the 800 total.
Yeah, I mean, I want a lot more.
Right.
I'll take what I can get.
Does that affect like when you're in the octagon? You know, I mean, at that time, clearly you were hungry and you wanted to be in the UFC, but you're like, well, I made $400. It'd sure be nice to make 800. Like, does that play into your mindset of I just feel like that would affect me being overzealous. Like, I need this $800.
Yeah. Nah, I just try not to worry about outcomes as much.
Okay.
I was like focus on the task and not the not the results, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I know if I was like freaking out, because like if I didn't make the 800, it would have been hard to pay rent.
Right.
Probably had to go down to Louisiana Central, sell some of my body a little bit. You know? You're close. What I have to do. Yeah.
But you just, you were like the coolest dude I have ever sat with. Like, you're just even kill. Like, what, has there ever been a time in your life where you just weren't feeling this even kill? Because I mean, clearly you do these extreme things, but then you're laying in a field with your dog for hours. So it's like there's that extreme, but then there's that chill. But
yeah, my friends talk a lot of shit and they get me flustered sometimes. But I'm like, oh.
Man.
So all right, so you go back to that fight. You obviously won the fight.
Yep.
And then you got the big contract.
Yeah,
in UFC, right?
Then they were like, Tony Ferguson's opponent fell out. I'm like, yo, Ricky, call them. Let's get this. Let's get this.
I mean, that's a big
Cowboy
deal.
was going to try to get it.
Yeah.
And then he heard that I was trying to get it, so he put in a word for me as well. He backed off, you know, thank you, Cowboy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, 15 days notice, I was drinking beers and 15 days notice, cut like 25 pounds and stepped in there and put on a hell of a show.
25 pounds in 15 days?
Yeah. And it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're the fighter. It was like the first 3 fights or something. Didn't you get 3 bonuses?
4. Yeah, so I'm tied for the record.
4 $50,000 bonuses.
What?
I'm tied for the record. Me, Thomas Almeida, and Tyson Griffin. OG Tyson Griffin.
Wow.
Yeah, first 4 fights, 4 bonuses. Yeah. So I came from making like $800 in 4 fights. Riding a moped around town, barely scraping by like $400 a month rent, to all of a sudden I made my first fight. $70,000. My second fight, $75,000. I'm just like, that shit went quick.
I was gonna say, what happens with that?
Like, I should have opened up an IRA.
So did you end up going out and buying some stuff you always wanted?
Yeah. My first thing I did was bought a Nissan Frontier, lifted up, off-road setup, 150,000 miles. Terrible idea.
Yeah.
And I took it on a road trip. Went to Cali to drop my girl off in veterinary school.
Okay.
When she started school right after I got in the UFC, so she's almost done.
Okay.
And then I went on a road trip. Did a shout out to Mount Rainier. Went on a solo hike, day hike up there. Then I did some backpacking in Olympic National Park. Saw some friends in Seattle. Went to Glacier. Just went all around Colorado, saw some friends there, man. Just took a few weeks and just road trip solo, met up with people, enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well, as you know, fighters, they it's like the NFL stands for not for long,
right?
So you never know, when your time's gonna be up. But you're a young dude, and I feel like you look at somebody like Diego Sanchez, who's 36, 37 years old now, and he's still fighting, but that's kind of a rare thing too.
Yeah, especially for how long he's been doing it.
Exactly.
Well, where does that come from? Looking at you again, like you're like, I bought a truck, I went and backpacked, you're like so chill, but then we watch you in the octagon, and you've got this like killer instinct.
Yeah.
Like, what within you drives you to that? Like, where does that come from?
I'm trying to get away from that. Yeah. So it is instinctual, man. It's like, when you work out hard and you get lost in that like hard state, like that difficultness, the difficulty of the workout, you just get lost in it.
Yeah.
It was the same with fighting. It was like,
I
would get sucked into it and just get lost in it, and like, you kind of zone out. Like, you're in a flow state, but you're not focused on what you should be doing. You're just doing.
It's emotion.
Yeah. So not taking a step back, not taking any pressure off the pedal.
Yeah.
So when you're standing across from your opponent at weigh-ins, is it more of a, hey, this is checking in at the office, or is it?
For me, that's one of the most fun parts, man.
Really?
I don't know
is
why.
Is that the mental game? Is that?
I don't know. I don't get nervous, or like I get excited for fighting. But I'm usually like fight day, like walking out backstage, like I'm super chill, like I'm just like this, like right now, like just chilling, hanging out. Weigh-ins, bro, I'm like bouncing around.
Yeah.
I get on the stage, I'm like,
and this crowd is looking back and they're screaming and
I love it, man. And you get to just stare into your opponent's eyes, and you get to see what they're made of, like sense what they're made of. You know, the eyes are the windows to the soul, and like they tell a lot. The facial expressions, the body posture, everything tells a lot. And
for you, you're staring at me.
Oh yeah. Most people are like, it's like you guys is distance apart, right? I'm like right here.
It's the alpha thing. Who's gonna look away first, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care about that. It's not like I'll always look away first. I don't really care. You know.
Okay.
It's just being that close with that energy and judging. You know, it's like sensing their energy.
So what's it like? Fight night, you're walking out to the octagon, there's thousands of people. Do you have the same energy going on? See, I was gonna say because a lot of times they say that, you know, you have to try to calm yourself because, man, you're about ready to get in and battle. And if you're hyped up, that's gonna take a lot of your energy away.
What's in your brain when they're doing that and then Bruce Buffer is announcing you fighting out of the blue corner?
So then it starts getting serious. So we take it like a step back, like in the locker room and, you know, behind the curtain, walking out, I'm like pretty chill. I'm just like, I got a smile on. This last fight, man, I was almost crying. Like, I was so happy to be there.
Really?
It's the most confident I've ever been, the best I've ever felt. My song hit, and I'm just like, big smiles. I walk out, I see this group of Aussies that all bought my t-shirts, and Tiger2.com. They all bought my t-shirts. I was like, what's up, what's up, what's up? Just smiling, man, enjoying the song, enjoying the moment, just taking in like the vibe of the crowd. Like, sold out arena, it's beautiful. But then once you get in the cage, I feel like once I step through that cage door, it's like business.
You gotta turn it off.
Yeah, like still calm, still chill, but like laser light focus, you know, pinpoint.
You mentioned you were working on that. You were trying to focus. You were trying to get away from the not necessarily the anger, but just like the energy, the emotion. How do you do that? Like, what are you doing to work?
Great sports psychologist, man.
Okay. All right.
That's a big part of it. Dr. William Shandon here in town, who I've been working with since my fight in July.
Okay.
Has been huge. Like we do a lot of visualization, and we use power words, and we like anchor emotions to words and stuff. So I just play these situations through my mind. Like I played that walkout in that fight through my mind a million times before the fight.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean,
keeps you calm. That's cool, man. Because I know a lot of people.
You get there, and it's like you've already been through it.
There's a lot of people that wouldn't even want to admit, like, yeah, man, I see a psychologist, and yet, you know,
I see a sports psych. I've been a regular therapist.
Okay.
I've been to doctors.
Yeah.
Seen accountants.
You are a grown up.
I got no shame in my game.
So are you the type of person that visualizes your future and what you want to accomplish, or you kind of take it day by day?
Yeah, so it's like, for me, like I said, balance. I mean, balance is life, everything in life, like yin and yang, you know? Yeah. I have a little bit of both. Have an idea of where you're going.
Yeah.
Right? Like for me, like, I know where I'm going, but at the same time, staying present, staying focused in the moment. Like I'm enjoying today. I'm enjoying this conversation. I'm gonna enjoy some water real quick.
Yeah. I mean, you were saying, go ahead.
Well, you look at the 155 weight class.
Yep. Yeah.
And you got Khabib, you have Conor McGregor, you have Tony Ferguson.
Love to fight him again.
Yeah. So you fought Tony Ferguson.
Yeah.
And you definitely want to get back in there. And Tony Ferguson, he's a little nuts. He's a little. He's a little.
He's out
rocker.
Yeah.
So you want to get back in there with him? And
I just want to fight the best guys. Yeah. You know, sometimes I have a hard time getting hyped up for fights. Like I'll just be like, whatever. Like I don't know who this guy is. Like it means nothing to me. But then like sometimes I'll be standing in the crowd in Canada at the UFC. Dustin Poirier and Eddie Alvarez are walking out. Khabib is 3 seats over for me, and I'm just standing there like, I want to fight these fighters. This is what makes me feel alive. You know. So that's what I want. I want to fight the guys who have either legacies, the guys who have names.
So what is yours then? Because as you talk about like being chill and keeping it, like in the moment, enjoying this, and yet when you were 11. You got that satchel and you were like, I'm gonna be the UFC champion. So clearly you're like future focused and yet in the moment. So what is that legacy that you're hoping to, like when people look back and see Groovy Lando, like what do you want them to remember you as?
I don't care. There's this
that's cool.
I don't really care about legacy, man, but what I do care about is I think the purpose of human life is to provide hope and provide a better world for the people after us.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about this last night actually. I'm like, there's this little kid He's probably like a year old now. That his parents were at my fight in Toronto and I knocked out my dad. They didn't know what to name him, so they ended up naming him Lando.
Wow.
I'm like, I want that kid to grow up and see me and be like, I'm named after him. Yeah. Just, I want the next generation to look up to me and be like, because of you, I did something.
That's what's cool about you, man, is, you know, you meet a lot of fighters, you meet a lot of people in the business, and, you know, a lot of other people are copying other people. A lot of people want to be the Connors. The Conor McGregors, and you are just like your own person. You're smooth, you're just, I don't care, I'm just going to do my own thing, and that's a rare thing to see, man.
Well, I had to go through the process, too, man. Like, I came to the game when Conor McGregor era wasn't, like, full-fledged. So, so, I mean, I went through that, too. Like, I was talking shit in the beginning. I was like, yeah, I got to talk shit. I got to hype stuff up.
Yeah.
You know? So, it's a process. You know, everybody's on it.
You think you've mellowed out from that? Like, you just kind of went away?
I'm just trying to be me, man. Like, I'm a respectful guy. Like, I talk shit with my friends, but in general, I'm nice to people. I'm a good dude.
Yeah.
So, I'm not trying to talk shit to my opponents unless I don't like them, genuinely.
Right, right. What's the most fired up you think you've ever been actually like in the octagon? Because for this last fight, you were obviously in the zone, but has there ever been a time where you were not lost necessarily, but just the emotion, that everything, it's like, where am I, what am I?
When I fought Tony Ferguson. So like before I even dropped him, I was gassed. Like I was feeling it. That first round came to an end, bro, and my arms were so heavy they felt like they were just dumping cement. So I came out that second round and I was like, I got no gas left, but every time I watch this guy fight, nobody ever pressures him. Like, I'm gonna make him go back. I'm gonna be in his face. Like I was just eating shots. He threw the Superman punch off the cage. I just ate it. He ripped a kick in my body. You know, and I just wanted to walk him down. Like that was my intention. It was almost like I knew I wasn't gonna win at that point. Like maybe, but probably not, because he's fresh and I had nothing left in the tank. So I was like, I'm gonna go out on my terms. Like I'm gonna walk you down. I'm gonna accomplish something here,
man.
I mean, you did. People still talk about it. It's like that first round was yours, man. You know, and El Kakui's no joke. You know, and to start your career in the UFC against such a big name, I mean, the fact that you were in that octagon with Tony Ferguson, like to kick it off, that's I mean, that's cool. I love your honesty, man. Like,
well, if I ever run it back with him, I'm gonna do to him what he does to everybody else, man. I'm gonna push the pace. I'm gonna break him.
Oh man.
You know?
Well, I would love to see that.
If we ever get there, that will be the objective.
All right.
I mean, obviously, you know, your identity right now is a fighter. You know, that's what you do. You know. Have you thought about what your identity is going to be after fighting? Yeah,
I mean, like, if you watch this last camp, I was doing a bunch of rock climbing. Like, I just did skydiving, you know, like, outdoors a lot. Like, slowly, I'm incorporating all that stuff, but slowly over, like, the next 5-6 years, I'm going to transition out. And then I want to get into, you know, big mountain climbing and base jumping.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
You can climb Everest? You can do all that
I want to do, I want to do 7 summits. Yeah, all 7.
Wow.
7 biggest. The biggest mountain on each continent. You know,
where I mean, this is crazy to me, because it's like, as talking, it's like you don't care about legacies, you don't care about any of these things, but like you are proving something. Like, who are you proving it to? Like,
it's not proving. It's like you see something that you're just drawn to. Like the first time I saw a wingsuit video, I was like, all right, now I gotta do that. And I'm like, that's like
you need to stay on YouTube.
Right? Here's the thing, though. I want to do that too, and I won't ever do that. You know what I'm saying? So that's where it separates.
Follow through.
It's the follow through.
Plus, I really enjoy that stuff. Like, I enjoy riding motorcycles. I enjoy fighting. Like, I'm not an adrenaline junkie. Like, I'm very
It doesn't seem like that. You're so calculated.
I'm a very calculated risk taker.
Yeah.
That's good. You need to be in that business. You know
but at the same time, I really enjoy those situations where you're at very high potential for failure. Yeah.
Dude, this has been one of my favorites, just in the simple fact of getting to know you a little more, because like when we started talking about the fact that everybody just goes to the internet to find something, and I love that there's not a whole lot about you on the internet. It's like, he's a fighter. These are his wins, these are his losses. Oh, and he jumps out of airplanes. But you're living life, and that is commendable, and that's inspiring, and I hope people watch it and want to do that, because as Dex said, there's so many people sitting in a cubicle that are just afraid to take that leap. So how do you go from seeing something and then executing it? Like I'm gonna jump out of
really
an
having the desire to do it. I see a lot
Yeah.
of things and I'll be like, that looks fucking like I'm you know, most people they don't know what to do with their life.
Yeah.
I'm the opposite. Like I want to do everything.
Right.
Everything intrigues me. But I can't do everything.
You gotta get a calendar and like
it's
slow
like
down.
things that are the most important. But it's like if you see something and it's really exciting, you're like, man, like I feel like I'm gonna feel like shit if I die and not do that.
Yeah.
You gotta do it, man. And the thing is, like, the first step is always the scariest.
Yeah.
The first step, buying that plane ticket to move out here when I was 18 was terrifying.
Yep.
Right? A little bit.
I'll bet,
that first jump out of a plane was terrifying.
Yeah.
You know? But after that, it gets easier.
Are you a singer by chance?
Oh, beautiful voice, man.
This is perfect then. See, he's not even afraid of this.
Songbird of my generation.
Well, he said he was prepared when he got in here.
Oh, really? So clearly
Yes.
you've seen the show.
I showed him the theme song.
The theme song. You're ready to sing us out, and I'm sad that we're coming to a close, but man,
This is it. Season finale, Lando.
Lando,
Let's do it. Lead us out.
What's the song?
It's our theme song. You know it. You know it so well.
showed it to
I mean,
you
you watch the show so often.
Yes. What is this on? Are we gonna? Is this on YouTube? Can I say whatever I want?
Yeah,
bro. Whatever you want.
Can I say whatever I want? This is gonna be this is season finale theme song. This is gonna be the biggest one, clearly. Yeah.
Get money. Get money. And money.
Don't sweat.
This must
Dude. Oh my gosh.
Lando Vannata.